Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Amin.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Thank you so much for taking your time out and coming on the doctor's couch. It's my pleasure and honor to have you. I'm looking forward for a very interesting and learning discussion from you.
Inshallah.
So you are the founder and director of Darul Qasim College in Chicago, and now it's going to be, or it is already in Dallas. And doing a little bit of research, you wrote quite a few articles which is published by Al Jazeera, and I'll just quickly go through the list. February 14, 2024, what Palestinians in Gaza are teaching Muslims worldwide. February 26, 2024, it's time to articulate a Muslim approach to justice and liberation. March 10th, 2024, Ramadan and power of faith and unity. Hajj proves religion can inspire peace on June 14th. And the latest on January 9th this year, 2025, Muslims of the world are much more united than they think. Especially the last article was very interesting. I tried to read all of those, but the last one, again, as you said, you rightly place your finger on the pulse of all modern day struggles by Muslims around the globe. But if I see from a different perspective, at least how it looked from outside, right? Despite believing in one God, one book, one religion, one prophet, the Muslims have never been divided as before. Like if you look from Morocco to Malaysia from a macro level, we Muslims in the West have our own set of challenges and problems. And on micro level, multiple sects, different mosques, different school of thoughts, ways to practice rituals, and the list goes on. Can you say the Muslims are united in reality? Seems more in theory than in practical. What's your take? How do you answer that?
Well, it depends on how you define a religion, right? What constitutes a religion? So is religion based on your theology, your understanding of salvation, and the religious practices. If that is your understanding of religion, then you will agree that Muslims are united, at least the theory and the theological level, and also the daily practice. The 5 pillars, nobody disagrees with the 5 pillars. But if you're defining Islam through what you call it, social engagement, political engagement, and economic values, then yes, you can say that we're not on the same page, which is, it's true. But, in terms of understanding Islam at a very high academic level, we use the hadith of Jibreel, of the Prophet ﷺ, where he defined Islam for us. Jibreel asks, Mal Islam, what is Islam? So he's asking the Rasul to define Islam. So the Rasul ﷺ defines Islam as the 5 pillars. And nobody's ever disagreed with that. So we're still very, firm on the idea that this is what Islam is. Now, interestingly enough, he didn't bring in any political values. He didn't even bring in any social values. He just said this is the theology of the deen. This is what Islam is defined by its theology and its understanding of salvation. And because Islam is not a secular religion by definition, meaning that Islam talks about life in this world and life after this world. And that's where I think Muslims of the modern age must understand that Islam is not just about glory, but without the idea that we are all going to die and we're going to meet Allah, that Islam will remain incomplete. Meaning the Khulafa, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman and Ali, the 4 Khulafa that we believe in, they were all very practicing devout worshippers. They had the akhirah in their mind all the time. It wasn't just that I'm going to do good in this world and that's the end of the story. Same with the Prophet ﷺ. He was not a secular person. He was a religious man, so that's why he didn't indulge too much in the dunya, as we know. Right? Yeah. So his focus was on ensuring that Muslims understand that they have 2 lives. One life is here, and one life is after they die. I mean, and that's the
Right.
focus for every Muslim. That should be the focus. So then you go back to the definition of Islam. Is Islam basically a secular way of life, or Islam a religion where you're going to hold fast to theology? And I think at the level of theology, Sunnis are united, definitely. So that would be my response.
Yeah, so definitely we are united, as you say, more on the beliefs, the pillars of the 5 pillars of Islam and the practices, but definitely the differences still exist. And
Yeah, we have a long way to go. As I mentioned in the article, we still have a long way to go to galvanize the Ummah,
Right.
and to get together on certain issues so that we represent Islam in the best light.
Right.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely.